Hey guys, how are we today? How are we? We have a guest today, Brat, also known as Heather Brat. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good.
Good. Hey man, it's good to see you. How are you? It's good to see all you guys. We do have another guest that's coming, but it's gonna be a little bit. I have to. I did get the credentials to sign into Zoom, and um, everybody's been helping me, been so kind to help me to work out all the kinks. And then, in case I have to go behind the scenes and do something, I have some backup. So that's good. Today is the first, you guys, and I just want to say this. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I one of my good friends has breast cancer, and I felt like she encouraged me, not by words, just by who she is. And I did go and get my mammogram this year, and everything came back fine. And it's not as scary as you think, you guys. It's really not. If you've never had one before, they do get all up in there pretty personal, but it's worth it, and just it's no big deal, and to have peace of mind. And I'm gonna have some more statistics for you guys, but oh, and also my insurance told me that once you turn 40 that you can get one every year. So make sure that you advocate for yourself for that, and if your insurance says no, then you we find another way. We get it done. Hey Sunday Doodles, it's good to see you. Hey True Crime Karens, how are you? It's so good to see you. Sunday Doodles says both my sisters have had it. One sis had it twice. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, sexy wild thing McLovin freaking babyface claws, how are you? It's good to see you. It's good to see all you guys. Yeah, so if you guys advocate for yourselves, and it makes such a big difference if you catch it early too. It really, really does. And I hate going to any of those appointments, like to the gynecologist, or I hate going to the dentist, because it's like in the back of your mind you think of what all could be wrong, and you hype yourself up about it, and then after you go you have such a more peace of mind, and you're like, why did I put it off? You know, it's so much better to go. Oh, wow. Sunday Doodle says both found it with monthly self exam. Yes, we all need to remember to do that too. I hate to admit it, but I didn't know how to do that, you guys, and they showed me how to do it correctly this last time that I went. Hey, Miss Arnold, how are you? It's so good to see you. Yes, I just wanted to mention that, you guys, and you guys remind each other. Miss Arnold taught me the term hot girls. Those are girls that encourage each other and don't talk about girls like, oh, who she thinks she is wearing that or whatever. We're hot girls. We encourage each other, and we encourage each other to look out for our health too, right? Yep, save the tatas. Absolutely. Absolutely. True Crime Care says I have an aunt on both sides of my family that had breast cancer. I keep up with that close. Yep. Yep. That's the best thing to do, you guys. Absolutely. So, what do you guys think? Brett, when you came to my last live, had you heard anything about this case before?
No, I hadn't.
No.
No. But you
No.
took me down a rabbit hole and now I'm stuck.
Yeah, it's a whole lot to it, and I'm sure I don't even know not even a quarter of it. I,
Hmm.
just things that happen in the holler, and all of Kentucky is just the holler, then I'm interested in it. But this is interesting anyways, because it's professional, people's jobs, and then there's just so many aspects to it.
Yeah, it
Hey,
goes deep.
Joe from space. Good to see you. I'm glad you came back today. It does, and I was, and then there's the familial, parts of it too, like the judges. So the prosecutor is the judge's brother-in-law or ex-brother-in-law, so everybody knows everybody there too. So,
Hmm.
mm-mm-mm. Astro says, "I wish I never left." LOL. Oh, oh, you guys. So remember that I told you that we were here on Friday, and I told you guys that Andy Brashear said the uh, that if Sheriff Mickey Stines, if he didn't resign, that he was going to start the process of removing him. Well, Mickey Stines decided not to resign until yesterday, so he did resign. But I figured that we could watch a few things about that, and then hopefully in a little bit it'll get to be that time, and we can go ahead and click into the Zoom and watch that. Oh, you guys, also remember when we listened to the interview of one of the ladies in the lawsuit, her lawyer, and he was telling us about what a preliminary hearing was. And he said that if he's not, because of the because that wouldn't be right, because he is the lawyer from one of the ladies in the lawsuit, but he's really a criminal defense lawyer. And he said that if he was Sheriff Stein's lawyer, that he would advocate for a preliminary trial, because that way he could see what exact evidence the state had against him, so he would be able to see it all then. That's instead of waiting for a grand jury indictment. What a preliminary trial is they present their evidence, and the judge decides if it's enough to go ahead and take it to trial. And if they don't do it that way, then there's a grand jury. And I think most of those are, I don't know if they call them secret, but the public usually don't get to see those. And if they had to wait for the grand jury indictment, then I don't think we would know as much. So I'm hoping that we find. Hey, B Crowns, it's good to see you. It's good to see all you guys. So hopefully we get to find out some more stuff today. Um, hey, Mean Ghoul Asparagus Groupie Wolfie, how are you? Hey, Miss W, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. I was worried about Miss W with all this bad weather going on, and then there's another one of my friends that has been without electricity since Friday, so I'm worried about her too. But she did message me yesterday, and she said that they're having to go to a nearby store to get to charge their phones and stuff. So, um, yeah, it's good to see all you guys. Okay, after my last live, I got a bunch of comments. Quite a few people watched it afterwards, and the big consensus there was they were saying we need to see the phones. The key is on those phones, and I agree, you guys. Um, and
I do
especially,
too.
yeah, yeah, it has to be, and especially if what the county clerk Mike
Sorry.
Watts, what he said about the, oh, that's okay. We love all the animals here. He probably sees my doggy and my cat, and that's probably what he wants to come and play with them, is what it is.
Oh, I think it was an Amazon truck.
Oh, oh, the Astro, that's what he thinks too. The phones are the key. Yeah. And especially if what Mike Watts told us is true about how, as soon as the sheriff looked at both of them, he set them down, walked around, and then fired 8 shots into his friend of 15 years. And, they say that they were friends for so long, but all we have is hearsay. We don't really know, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, the Astro from Space says, "Did y'all hear the wife filed for divorce and the family has not been to see the sheriff?" I did hear something like that the sheriff wouldn't see them. And about the wife filing for divorce, I saw some people say that that was just hearsay, but I don't know. I don't know. We have another guest. How are you, Aaron? Uh, well, that was a quickie. She did a drive by. Oh, um, okay. Let's see what the. Let me see here. Oh, can you hear us now?
I can hear.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to stay muted. I'm working backstage, so
Okay.
I sent you a
Okay. No
message.
problem. Okay. Thank you so much. True crime Karen says the wife probably needs to protect herself and their children financially. Yeah, that's true. That does make sense. And they said that the family tried to go see the sheriff, and the sheriff was the one that wouldn't see them. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video for us while I get everything fixed so that we can be ready to watch the court at let me see here. Well, it's buffering, guys. Okay.
Andy Bashir is calling for Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Stines to resign following that deadly shooting inside a courthouse that claimed the life of a district court judge. Stines was arraigned yesterday in connection to the murder of District Court Judge Kevin Mullins. In a letter today, Governor Bashir asked that Stines step down by the end of tomorrow. He says it's important that Letcher County has a sheriff that can be out in the community, keeping people safe.
And what I'm trying to do is to get Letcher County a sheriff that can be active as quickly as possible. That happens the fastest if the current sheriff resigns.
And if the sheriff does not resign by the end of tomorrow, the governor says the state will begin the process to remove him.
The face of addiction tells many stories. How did this start?
Okay, guys, I'm trying to get this other video up for us. This was the one I was thinking of, I think. I'll come back and get you guys just 1 second. No, that one's not it either. Hang on just 1 second, guys. I gotta find us this video and then I'll get us set up with I only had since yesterday to get us all fixed with this. Let me see here. Okay, here's the one. Okay, let me come back and get everybody. I'll let you guys watch this while I get us set up and we will be ready to go. I couldn't sign us in for a little bit.
in Letcher County Courthouse on September 19th. This is the 911 dispatch of that shooting.
362 needs to be right to Letcher County Courthouse. That shot's fired on the second floor. Shots fired on the second floor.
Last week, Stines pleaded not guilty during his first arraignment. The judge also addressed Stines' claims of indigency and needing a court-appointed attorney.
Do you believe you'll be able to obtain counsel to represent you on these charges within those 10 days?
I hope so. It's kind of hard, where I'm at, have contact with people I need to.
I don't believe you do at this time qualify as for public assistance due to the fact that you aren't indigent. However, based on the circumstance of this case and the fact that we do need to have a preliminary hearing within 10 days, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you for the limited purpose of assisting you at your preliminary hearing. If and when this case does proceed to circuit court, the circuit court may require you to hire your own counsel. Do you understand that, Mr. Stines?
Yes, sir.
All right, as of today, Stines has a new defense team. Jeremy and Kerry Bartley will now represent him. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear called for Stines to resign by the end of the day last Friday. And if he didn't, Beshear said that
This meeting is being recorded.
All right. Florida District Court's now in session with the Honorable Rupert Floyd.
Thank you, sir. You may be seated. I'm going to call the case of Commonwealth versus Sean Stines, 24F-147, on for preliminary hearing. Is the Commonwealth ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, call your first witness.
Commonwealth's claim is stand.
All right, Mr. Neighbor, if you would. Raise your right hand for me. You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
You state your name for the record, please.
Clayton Stamper,
And how do you spell your name?
ClaytonStamper.
Tell the court how you're employed.
I'm sorry.
How are you employed?
I'm a detective with the Kentucky State Police assigned to Post 13 Hazard.
How long have you been employed in that capacity?
I've been with KSP a little over 24 years, detective since 2006.
And have you, in the performance of your duties as detective police, have you investigated the death of Kevin Mullins?
Yes, sir, I did.
And can you tell us on what date that was?
It was September 19th, 2024.
In investigation of that death, were you able to determine who killed Kevin Mullins?
Yes.
And how were you able to do that?
Video surveillance footage.
And did you retrieve the video surveillance footage?
I did.
You're not this time, the Commonwealth moved to play video footage.
All right.
All right, I'm going to object. You can approach.
Yes, approach the bench.
Just as a matter of course, usually it's with
You ready to proceed? Call for it. All right. What was that?
Okay, is that a portion of the video?
Yes, it is.
And were you able to identify the party that we saw in that video?
That was Sheriff Mickey Stines and Judge Kevin Mullins.
And also, who had the firearm?
Sheriff Stines.
And then, judge was obviously in his black robe.
Yes.
Do you know what portion of the courthouse that is?
That is the judge's chambers
And where's that located at, physically located?
in the Letcher County Courthouse.
So I'll have it on.
Like across the damn witness.
Would you?
That was a short clip that was played there. How long do you believe that clip was?
That we just watched,
Yes,
just 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
15 seconds. In fact, the video that was taken in the judge's chambers between the meeting between Sheriff Stines and Judge Mullins, it's my understanding that video lasted much longer, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And have you had an opportunity to review the video
I have.
of the prior incident?
I have.
And can you describe for us what happened immediately prior to the clip that we saw?
Sheriff Stines uses his telephone to make some phone calls. He then borrows Judge Mullins' cell phone and appears to make a call on that. And that led to what you just saw.
Okay, so it's my understanding there were some people who were having a meeting with Judge Mullins prior to the sheriff's entry into the chambers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you identified those witnesses?
I don't know the names of them. There's about approximately 4 people in there. Then Sheriff Stines enters the judge's chambers and everybody else clears out.
You don't know their names?
Not right off, no.
Have you prepared a report?
In the process, yes.
You're in the process of preparing a report,
Yes, a lot of information.
but you've not spoken to any of those witnesses?
I'm not directly, but they've all been interviewed. There's recorded interviews of those people in the case.
Okay, so other officers have spoken with those 4 witnesses?
Yes.
And what is your understanding of what those 4 witnesses have said?
I don't recall.
You have no idea what they said?
No.
I want to make sure I understand, had there been a hearing previously this day in chambers?
In the courtroom?
No, in chambers.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And so there's a video camera that is running in the district judge's chambers. Is that on all the time?
It's my understanding, yes.
Okay. And have you spoken with anyone about why that may be?
No. I mean, there's cameras throughout the courthouse.
Well, fair enough, but are you familiar with district judges' chambers normally, how they're set up?
No. I mean, some of them have video surveillance and some don't.
Right, but
This one does.
generally when they have surveillance, you agree with me that that is utilized when there is a proceeding going on in chambers, correct?
It could be, yes.
Okay. And I mean, I'm just asking, so this video didn't have an audio recording to it, correct?
There's no audio.
Outside of once the four people that were inside that we don't know their names, once these four people had left the chambers, were they in an area adjacent where they could hear anything that was going on?
Yes, I believe some of them did remain in the next room.
Okay, and what did they tell us?
Do I?
What did they hear?
I've not been part, I wasn't part of those interviews.
Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're prepared for a preliminary hearing on a murder and there are witnesses in an adjacent room.
I mean, they heard
Now,
gunshots.
please, my question, please.
Yeah, let me ask the questions.
Thank you, officer. So you are investigating a murder and testifying in a preliminary hearing, and there are witnesses who may have overheard what preceded this edited clip. Yet you can't tell us today anything that they said?
I've not personally listened to those interviews. I've talked to the other officers that did those interviews.
Fair enough. And I mean, we're here at a preliminary hearing, as you know, that you can testify to hearsay. I'm asking you what they said.
They heard gunshots.
Okay. Was there any statements that we overheard?
No.
Were there raised voices?
There, one person stated that she didn't recognize him as being Judge Mullins' voice, but heard somebody say, "Help, help."
Presumably that would be after the firearm was drawn or shot.
Objection, Your Honor.
I would draw, Judge. So is there any testimony that you can give us today about any statements or arguments or the content of that argument prior to the shooting?
No.
I want to ask generally, so did you process the scene? Are you the lead investigator on this case?
I am.
Okay, so as a lead investigator, I would presume that you would have secured the chambers and evidence once you arrived.
I was part of that, yes.
You were part of it, right? But you're the lead investigator, so you'd be in charge of those duties and delegating what should be done. Is that fair?
No, I don't delegate what's done.
Okay, so you're the lead investigator. What does that mean?
I'm the case officer.
Okay, so you're carrying the case. So I want to make sure I understand, had Judge Mullins been removed from chambers when you arrived?
No.
Were you able to ascertain, did he have a firearm on his person?
We did not locate one.
You did not locate one?
No, there's not one in the chambers.
Okay. And there was none on his person?
No.
Okay. All right. Who was the first person to arrive on behalf of law enforcement to investigate?
They were already in the courthouse.
Fair enough, but I'm talking about in terms of people that we may see a report from or take part in this investigation. Who would be the first person?
I believe Trooper Jason Bates was the first KSP personnel on scene.
Okay. And you spoke with him and
I did.
And he searched and did not locate a firearm?
No, he didn't search the scene, no.
His
role at that point was security of the scene.
I understand, but I'm just trying to ascertain, you said earlier that there's no firearm found.
No.
I'm wanting to know, can you tell us, was it specifically searched for a firearm?
In the judge's chambers?
Yes, sir.
There was myself, Detective Chris Collins, Detective Scott Caldwell, Detective Eric Caldwell. That's all I recall right now.
Okay, but I'm trying to understand. So who searched specifically for a firearm?
We all did.
And that was specifically something you looked for?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay. Of course, your investigation, did you ascertain that prior in the day, there had been a lunch meeting between Sheriff Stines and Judge Mullins?
There was.
Pardon?
There was.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear your response. I wasn't being trite. So where did this take place?
It's a restaurant called Street Side, and it's just down the street from the courthouse.
Okay. And it's my understanding there were a couple of other people who attended the luncheon.
There were several, yes.
Okay. And at some point after that, they wrapped up lunch and left, obviously, and went back to the courthouse. Are you aware of anything so far in your investigation that would tell us there was any issues at lunch between Judge
No,
Mullins and Sheriff Stines?
no.
Okay. But someone on behalf of the KSB has spoken to those witnesses?
Yes, they've all been interviewed.
And there was nothing unusual that had arisen during that luncheon?
I was told that the judge made a statement to Mickey about, do we need to meet private in my chambers? That's all I was told.
Do you know the context of
I do
what the conversation was before that they would need to discuss in chambers?
I do not.
So it's my understanding that in the larger portion of the video that we haven't had access to, that there is a point when Sheriff Stines asked for to see the telephone of Judge Mullins.
Yes.
Is that a yes? I mean,
Yes.
yes. Okay. And I would presume that you and the other officers you mentioned when you secured the scene, that you secured those phones as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
And have you reviewed both of those phones?
They're currently at the forensic lab at this time being downloaded. I have had discussions with the people at the lab regarding the downloads.
And those are a couple of other questions that I was going to ask you, but my original question was, have you reviewed or are you aware of the content of the phones?
I've not personally seen it because I've not received those reports yet.
Okay, again, based upon your conversations with the officers, are you aware of any recent content that was up and could have been relevant at the time of their discussion?
I was told that Sheriff Stines had tried to call his daughter, and he had tried to call his daughter from the judge's phone also.
So have you obtained the phone records from Judge Mullins's phone?
I don't have those in my possession yet. No.
Okay. Have you issued a search warrant for them?
Yes.
Okay. And have officers confirmed that the sheriff's daughter's phone number was on Judge Mullins's phone?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes.
So that number had been called from Judge Mullins's phone. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't have a viewing of what transpired during that exchange of phones. But based upon your review of those moments prior to, when Sheriff Stines observes that cell phone, was he previously seated?
Yes.
Okay, so in the clip we saw, he was standing the entire time.
He was seated in front of the judge's desk.
And he looks at the cell phone. What is it? Can you describe his reaction in the video that we haven't seen?
Whose reaction?
Well, the sheriff.
You can't see his face in the video.
Okay. But is it clear that, does it appear to you that, I don't know, let me rephrase this. Did he stand up after
Yes.
looking at the phone?
He stood up.
And how long after he looked at the cell phone and stood up did this occur that you played?
Just seconds.
Did you make the decision as on edits today for for what you were going to present?
Do
In
what?
terms of, did you make the edit or determine
No.
which portion of the video we were going to see today?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. Both cell phones have been sent to the Kentucky State Police Forensic
Yes.
Team, is that correct?
Yes.
Have you gotten any early report on what was found?
No.
What was, were both phones still on the desk when you arrived?
The judge's phone was on the desk. Sheriff Stines' phone was on his person.
Okay, so are there photographs of, was the phone locked at that point or was it still open?
With both of you asking about both of them, or?
Well, first let's talk about, that's fair. First, I'm talking about Judge Mullins, since it was the one that was still on the desk and presumably nobody touched it prior to you securing it, correct?
No.
So, yeah, so I would like to know about that. Have you ascertained what was currently open on that cell phone?
No, I don't know at this point.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, do you think that would be, you think that will be important to learn?
I hope to learn that when the report's ready, yes.
Okay. But as of today, you can't tell us
No.
what was currently open on the judge's file.
No, sir.
Did you conduct an interview with Sheriff Stein's daughter?
I did not, but she has been interviewed.
Are you aware of any, who was present when she was interviewed?
Lieutenant Randy Combs and Detective Anthony Trotter.
Okay, and she was interviewed with or without her parent?
With.
So her parent was present at the time you interviewed her?
Yes, I believe. I wasn't there, but yes, I think so.
The law enforcement has not spoken to her without her parent present?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did the Kentucky State Police obtain her phone?
No.
You intend to obtain records for her cell phone number?
Possibly, yes.
Do you believe that that will be soon that you'll do that?
Could be, yes.
Okay. Had you already intended to do that or did you just respond to my question?
Well, the call should be on the judge's records too.
Well, I understand.
And she's made statements about what occurred during those conversations.
I understand that, but I would presume that, have you ascertained whether Judge Mullins also had apps that stand outside of phone records?
I've not received those records yet. I don't know what's on the phone.
Fair enough, but I mean, did you look at the phone? Did it appear there were apps on it?
I'm not the person that's qualified to look through the phone.
Okay, but you're familiar with cell phones. They can host other forms of communication.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
What's the objection?
Didn't ask an answer, Your Honor. He's asked a question, I think about 4 or 5 different things. The officer, the detective repeatedly said he does not have a report with phones. He's not good at the phone. He can't testify that matter.
I sure
Let him ask the question where he can only testify what he has personal knowledge about.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. So you're aware that phones can be used for apps such as Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. And that is not something that is captured by cell phone records. You would agree with me?
I agree.
Okay. So in light of that, although the records may be mutually the same, right, you know, the same between Judge Mullins's phone and the sheriff's daughter, do you believe that you could also ascertain other information from the cell phone app content?
Are you asking what apps are on the phone?
Yes. Well, that was my original question.
I
but
don't know
thought you did know.
without, I've not received that report yet. I don't know what apps he had downloaded on the phone.
If he has social media apps, do you intend to?
That could lead to additional search warrants, yes.
If you would, officer, please let me finish before you move forward, and I'll try to slow down a little bit as well, okay?
Sure.
Thank you, Trooper. Have you determined whether there were any previous issues, personal or professional, between Sheriff Stines and Judge Mullins?
I've heard things.
What have you heard?
Just that this regarding the lawsuit that the Letcher County Sheriff's Office is currently involved with.
The lawsuit that involved ultimately a criminal conviction of a deputy for sexual behavior in the judge's chambers. Is that the one you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay, and the subject matter of that lawsuit, the chambers area, that's the same chambers in which this occurred. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with the details of that case that the lawsuit resulted from.
Okay. Are you aware of any criminal reports that Sheriff Stines had made of Judge Mullins prior to this day?
No.
Did you personally observe Sheriff Stines following this video?
Did I personally observe him?
Did you meet with him? Did you talk to him after?
He was in custody when I arrived at the courthouse that afternoon.
All right. And at some point, did you draw any observation about his demeanor?
He was mostly calm, I thought. I mean, I talked to him, but he didn't say nothing about why this had happened. But he was calm. He was kind of afraid that basically all he said was, treat me fair. That's basically the comments he made.
Okay. Did he also make a statement about, I don't see it in the citation here, but somewhere along the line I saw a statement being attributed to him about protecting his family?
I wasn't present, but when he was taken into custody, I was told by one of the other officers that were there that he made the comment, they're trying to kidnap my wife and kid.
Have you ascertained any evidence that this shooting was pre-planned?
No.
Okay.
Not this time.
And would you agree that from what we've seen so far, from the evidence you've seen so far, the shooting was a reaction to what was on that cell phone in that moment? Is that accurate?
Objection, Your Honor. Also speculation outside of his scope of expertise.
Your Honor, I believe that if he has formed an opinion about the investigation up to this point, especially at a preliminary hearing, he could speculate on that, Judge.
No, she's saying.
Sure. So, is there anything other than the content of the phone that this video will reveal to us about why this took place?
No.
Does it appear that this took place as a reaction to what was happening in the chambers at that point?
I can say it occurred after a phone call was made. I don't know what was said or nothing like that, but.
Fair enough. And I'm not asking you the content of any of that, but at this point, is it your theory that whatever that content was in the discussion was the impetus of the shooting?
It could be, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay. Do you have any evidence up until this point that you have developed that would demonstrate that it was not? as a reaction to what was on the phone?
No,
None whatsoever?
no.
Okay. Judge, if I have just one moment to confer with counsel. Did you attempt to speak to Sheriff Stines at the Leslie County Jail after the incident?
No,
Did anyone from your agency attempt to interview him?
not to my knowledge, no.
And at that point, had he asserted his right to an attorney or anything?
No,
But nobody went back to try to talk to him or do an interview?
no.
I think I have one other question. In addition to cell phones that we've discussed, the cell phone of Sheriff Stines and the cell phone that you found of Judge Mullins, were there additional phones that you were able to obtain?
There was one other phone that's currently being examined. And the basic reason it was seized was there was a text conversation between Sheriff Stines and some of his employees with the sheriff's office.
Okay, and that was an additional phone of Sheriff Stines?
It was a phone of, I guess she's the, I don't know what her title is, but she's employed. She's not sworn. She's employed by the Letcher County Sheriff's Office. And she voluntarily gave her phone to the person that interviewed her.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, what could you explain why that was relevant or germane to your investigation?
I didn't conduct that interview, but it was, I guess it was regarding the dinner at Streetside and things that led up to the shooting. But I don't have those results either, so I don't know exactly what was said.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought when we discussed that earlier that you indicated there was no evidence that the conversations at the lunch.
I haven't seen those conversations yet. I've not received the downloads from the phone.
Right, but I ask you if you're aware of any information that could have been gleaned from witnesses at that meeting. And as I recall, you said no, but there is some information that something was discussed at this lunch. Is that correct?
I don't know what was discussed at lunch.
I understand, but you obtained this lady that we don't know her name. You obtained her phone in an effort or based on a belief that she would be able to demonstrate what was said at lunch. So you would agree with me, you believe that there is a witness or information that may have popped up at lunch.
There's a recorded interview with her in the case, and I'm yet to receive the downloads of the phone, so I don't know what they contain.
Okay, well, has that phone been sent for forensic examination as well?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Officer, that's all I have. Thank you.
Reason. Just two questions. Is Judge Mullins, he's sent to medical examiner's office from Monthouse.
He was.
Have you received that report yet?
No.
Have you had informal conversations with him regarding his cause of death?
Yes.
And what was that?
Multiple gunshot wounds.
The video we showed earlier, that a true and accurate copy of what you received?
Yes.
Ultimately, introduced comes as exhibit 1, Your Honor. Any objection?
Your Honor, I'd ask of course, all we saw today was the clip, but I asked it to be admitted in its entirety, and I'm going to
I'm gonna respond to that.
Judge, I'm only thing preliminary here is required for is probable cause. This establishes probable cause. I think the entire clip is outside the purview of the these proceedings today.
I think if you're gonna want to see the whole video, you should check earlier. I'll admit. It was short earlier. The clerk. We got it shut it.
Hey, Detective, this is an ongoing investigation.
Yes, it is.
And as this ongoing investigation proceeds, you will be interviewing more people if necessary, submitting more evidence to the lab.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Recross. Any other witnesses for the Commonwealth?
No further.
All right, you may stay. Any witnesses for the defendant?
There you are.
I'll find probable cause and find this case over the grand jury. Anything else? Anything else before we turn forward?
Yeah, you're just trying to there's no, we're not allowed to sum up, judge what.
If you want to make an argument, sure.
But it sounds like I may change your mind, judge.
There's a probable cause hearing, so, but yes.
I understand.
Take your best shot.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, so, murder under our statute, as the court knows, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but if there is an issue as to extreme emotional disturbance, then there has to be some evidence that would rebut that. And specifically, when I asked the witness today if there was any evidence to rebut that this occurred as a direct result in the moment of this observation, I don't have none at this point. And I give it's just probable cause, but I think they've established probable cause for manslaughter first, but not murder. But I've heard nothing that indicates that this is not, an example of an extreme emotional disturbance relative to the phone. At any rate, Judge, respectfully, I understand the court's previous ruling, but I did want to address that with you.
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to respond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Extreme emotional disturbance is a defense. There's not been a defense presented here at this court today. The evidence presented in this court today is that the judge was intentionally shot and killed, shot multiple times by the sheriff, and there's probable cause to find the grand jury murder charge.
Yeah, I agree. There's probable cause to proceed.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else before we adjourn for today?
Your Honor, in terms of, we'd like to discuss, if we could, lodging from here where he's transported. Is it the court's intention to have him take, and I don't want to discuss that potentially publicly, Your Honor.
I'm not sure I can make that help you on that.
Sure. So,
I mean, we could, you're welcome to staff report and discuss that. I'm not sure I can tell.
sure. So the transport order that was entered that will direct Sheriff Stines to go back to where he came from, Judge. Is that fair?
Let's adjourn forward and we'll talk about that.
Yes, sir.
I don't know that I can change the reason to be at.
I'm sure. Yes, sir.
We can discuss it. All right.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Court's adjourned.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so whoa. I'm kind of lost for words, you guys. It's okay, Trista. The preliminary hearing started at 1:00, so we started a little bit earlier, but you'll definitely have to go back and watch it because it, okay, so let's think about what we heard here. We heard that Sheriff Stines called his daughter from his phone, and then he called his daughter from the judge's phone. That's what we heard about the daughter. And we heard that the state police did not confiscate the daughter's phone nor her phone records. So even if the motive has nothing to do with the daughter, you would think that the state police would confiscate all close family members' phones. Wouldn't you guys think that? Yeah, it just ended, Aaron. It said the host has ended the meeting. Yeah. So, wouldn't you think that, Brett, that they would take or at least get the phone records from all close family members?
I would think, if anything, at least the daughters, since it involved her somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no words.
Mm-mm. And that detective said that he was the lead detective on the case. And I know that it has just been a little over a week. I think Thursday will make 2 weeks, but you'd think that he would know more than what he was saying. I don't know. Um, no, Aaron, I think it ended for everybody. Isn't that what you guys saw? That it said that the host ended the meeting, and then it kicked me off. And also, I didn't watch I didn't watch Sheriff Stines a whole lot. I was doing things in the background and stuff, but I did see him taking some notes. Astro says the judge got so much on them phones, y'all. I think so too, because remember when we were talking about Sabrina when we went over the lawsuit? No, I think it was Jennifer. Jennifer was the one that was taken back to jail, and they took her phone as evidence and they never gave it back to her. So I know that that's a different case, but I just feel like that has to be involved too somehow. I don't know, you guys. I'm going to have to go back and watch this live again. I'm going to have to watch my own live again and take it all in. I'm just like, I'm never at a loss for words, you guys, but this one kind of has me. Yeah, Nature Rocks. She says wondering that too, Aaron. They just don't want us all to hear. Yeah, something. And then, oh yeah, that's a good idea too. We can go over it again, you guys, and stop and talk about it too. I did want to tell you guys that I did find that I dropped the name of the lawyers. I think that he did end up hiring his own lawyers, and they're from Somerset. And what I could tell was that they do criminal defense, and then they also do a lot of lawsuits, and get they handle those a lot too. So I don't know. I haven't looked into them a whole lot. Um, that's true, Jim. That's true. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this one, and I'll see what else I can find. And we might do like Aaron said and play it again, and then I can see what else I can find to go with that. But I appreciate you all so very much for coming today. It means so very much to me, you guys. And I got to thank Aaron for helping me so much. I don't know if any of the rest of you guys were affected yesterday, but I had no phone service at all. You couldn't even click the Wi-Fi calling over to call from my Wi-Fi. It was just stuck in SOS mode, and it would call 911, but that was it. I couldn't get any phone calls out whatsoever. And so to get the link to this Zoom meeting, Aaron had to call for me, and then I had to email a few times and get it. So without Aaron, we wouldn't have been able to do this. So I got to thank her and helping me figure out Zoom too, because it was kind of hard at first too. So I appreciate her.
Aaron said wait to end it.
Oh, okay. Trista says, I have Verizon and me and my husband's phones were fine. It didn't affect us. Yeah, mine was Verizon too. Yeah, without Brat too. Yeah, she helped me this morning too figure out how to do the Zoom. We had our own Zoom meeting. We figured it out though. Don't worry about us. We'll get it. And Trista and Nature Rocks and all my mods, I appreciate you guys so very much. I couldn't do any of this without you guys either. You have anything else to add, Brad? I'm just kind of like, whoa. Like when I can't think of words to type out, I use emojis, and so like in my mind, it's like the emoji with the red emoji with the crying face, and then the red emoji with the mad face. All kinds of emojis is what I would put for this live.
I've just got the mind blown emoji right now.
Yeah, that one too. Oh. Yes, she did. We know, Astro. We know you have been spot on about a lot of the things you've been saying, but we just have to cover our tracks, you know. Okay, Aaron, sure. Oh, I can read you guys the there is, let me find it back. There was the resignation letter from the sheriff. I can show you guys that. Let's see here. Yep. I don't think that's a very long video. It says Letcher County Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines has announced his quote unquote retirement, according to a letter from his attorney. And remember, I told you guys that Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, gave him an ultimatum that he had to resign by Friday. Let's see what this says.
Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines has resigned from office effective immediately. The letter, which was released by the law office of Jeremy Bartley, who is representing Stines, says that the decision to resign was not made as a result of any ultimatum or in any way as a concession to any allegations made by the Commonwealth. Instead, it was so his successor can protect the citizens of Letcher County. Governor Andy Beshear called for Stines' resignation last week after the former sheriff was charged with murder in the shooting death of District Judge Kevin Mullins on September 19th. Stines is due in court for a preliminary hearing tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Yeah, that didn't really tell us a whole lot. Okay, Astro, you have a good day, dude. Oh, he gets his pension still. It says the letter from the law office of Jeremy A. Bartley, and that's who I dropped the link in the chat for you guys, said that Stines made the difficult decision to effect his retirement on Monday ahead of ongoing legal processes. Stines was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of District Judge Kevin Mullins in his courthouse chambers on September 19th. In his arraignment, Stines pleaded not guilty. His retirement comes after a pressure to resign from Governor Andy Beshear and Kentucky General Counsel S. Travis Mayo. A letter to Stines from the governor asked that if he did not take action, he would be removed from the position. And right here's the whole letter. I'll read it to you guys. It says, Sheriff Sean Mickey Stines has proudly served the people of Letcher County for over 22 years. And remember that I told you guys, too, that we went back through his whole it was right after he got out of high school. He worked for the Neon Police Department, and then he worked for another sheriff, and then he worked for the sheriff right before him when he was the bailiff for Judge Mullins, remember? So he has worked about 22 years. He expresses his heartfelt appreciation and love for the support this community has given him and his family during his time in service. Mr. Stines has made the difficult decision to effect his retirement as of September 30th, 2024. So that was yesterday, huh? It says this decision is made not as a result of any ultimatum or in any way as a concession to any allegations made by the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Rather, Sheriff Stines has made this decision to allow for its successor to continue to protect his beloved constituents while he addresses the legal process ahead of him. Mr. Stines thanks every member of his staff, past and present, as well as those who have worked with him over the years. He asks for your thoughts and prayers of support for him and his family and ask that their privacy be respected during this judicial process. Yeah. So he didn't resigned last Friday, but yesterday instead. And there has been a lot of videos. Hey, Aaron, what do you think? Wait. She's done a few drive-bys on us, you guys. Sunday, Doodle says, I want to see the messages. I do too. I think that the phones hold a very big key. I really, really, really do. Also, I was going to tell you guys, there's some new videos. Court TV has put out quite a few videos these past few days. We can go through those next time if you guys want, and I can see what else I can find. Here's Aaron. Aaron,
I'm so sorry. It dropped me right as I was trying to come in.
That's okay.
Well, I didn't, because I was trying to do like some other behind the scenes stuff. I didn't get to listen to all of the court stuff until towards the end when I was chatting in the chat. But I definitely think it's something that I'm very interested in keeping up with. And I wanted to let everybody know you did a video on this earlier, and I put the link for that video in your chat. So if anybody wants to watch that video so that they get a better idea of what's going on, that's there. And I want to remind everybody to hit the like button and be sure you subscribe if you're new. Mo is an amazing, amazing creator and puts a lot of integrity and hard work into the cases. And it's a very encouraging community. So I wanted to say that. And but as far as the case, I think it's wild. I'm ready to see this unfold.
Thank you so very much for your kind words, because I do, and you guys know that it means so much to me to put out as much as I can find the facts. And I'll tell you guys what I've heard besides the facts, but I always say, but I usually don't even do that. And then I let you guys make your own decisions,
Right. Well, I mean, it'll all come out, in court when they present their case, which I'm sure this will take, over the next year or so. Did he get a bond or no?
No, I don't think they mentioned anything about a bond.
And did he do any type of plea today?
No, I don't think so. I think that the last time he pleaded not guilty, so I guess that was just for,
Okay. Like I said, I have to go back and re-listen. I think what would be fun, Mo, is if we could do like a commentary, because I know we were recording it today without interruptions so that we could like hear it all. But I think what would be fun would be to go back and like do commentary on the proceedings.
Yeah.
That we watched today. I think that would be fun, because then we could stop it and go back and listen, and then we could kind of re-listen and reanalyze and look at it in more detail.
Yeah, I think that would be really good too. Let me see. Oh yeah, and the live that I did, it was right before this, you guys, and we went through a lot of the lawsuit and the sheriff had done a deposition the Monday. This happened on a Thursday, and he did a deposition for 4 to 8 hours on the Monday before this, and so that's very interesting. And I don't know if it's connected, but it couldn't have been a coincidence in my opinion. But we went through a lot of those and read straight from the lawsuit right before this live, so you guys can find a whole lot of information in that one. And if you guys have any suggestions, or if you guys find anything that you think might be interesting for us to go over, I'm going to drop my email in the chat. And so yeah, or if you find any other cases, I try to focus on cases here that are lesser known, but this one really, really caught my eye. And since it's my home state and things like that, I do cover cases that are more well known, but that are interesting too. And I try to find what others may not have been. You know what I'm saying. But
also,
yeah, so
too, Mo, we talked about getting more court filing and more actual court paperwork, and So just letting the chat know that if we do and are able to get that and find that, you might have some of that in the future to present as well.
Absolutely. We like to get our own stuff as much as we can too. And I'm really interested in this case for sure. Absolutely. Okay, you guys keep an eye out and keep an eye on my community post too, because I put stuff out through there through the week too. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to end this for now, but thank you all so very much for coming, and thank you for helping me mod, you guys, all my friends. I appreciate you all so very much, and Aaron and Brad, thank you so very much too.
And,
Of
and hit the
course.
like button. We had almost, I think, 110-ish people, and so we need to get the likes up. That helps Mo grow her channel. And if you're new, welcome. We're so happy to have you. And also make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell so that you can keep up with the case and get to know us. We're a fun community. Mo is. Me and Heather usually don't come up on channel, but we're supporting our girl today.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys will, you'll absolutely love this community. We love to have all of you, and we appreciate you all so very much. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. And don't forget to say your prayers and take your vitamins too. And God bless you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.